It's always fun redoing.
So what was really fun is
Like pretending like you've never talked about the same thing that you're...
And once again, the feed has begun at the beginning or in the middle of the conversation. It's the beginning of our show. This is what we do.
Yeah, there's got to be random crap. That's
Random crap
that's
is
what
always
life.
nice.
That's like what life is for Pete's
Kind
sake.
of is.
Random crap.
Well, it isn't, and that's pretty much our show. Only it's usually random sexual crap. Colleen Bertino.
Yeah.
Hey, we've got a full house today.
Yeah.
We've got Liz Tillemans here. We've got Myss Angie,
Hey.
pole dancing, and me, Kelly Guest. But let's go ahead. I love the fact that I get to do this now, Colleen.
Right.
Well, we, the Great Northern Sex Cast, are brought to you today by Audible.
Yay!
And you can download a free audiobook at audibletrial.com/social. That's audibletrial.com/social. Seriously, there's over 180,000 titles to choose from. And Liz, you are a massive fan.
I am.
You're an Audible geek, aren't you?
I am. I'm reading a 32-hour biography on Alexander Hamilton right now, and it's fascinating.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what you do when you commute, right? Is you listen to stuff?
Actually, I do it at work. Like when I'm
Really?
hanging panties all day. You know?
You need something to work the brain.
Yeah.
I mean, her office is, in an area is sort of isolated from everyone else. So
Yeah.
there's not anyone to chit chat with that much. I mean, I come in and, nag her ass every now and then. Like, what does this mean? What's going on? Do you want this? Whatever. And I'm like, yeah, I'm listening. Go. But she's getting her stuff done because it's her and like zillions of dollars worth of lingerie. And, the reordering is going to, happen soon. So boxes are going to coming in. No, might as well be educated.
Yeah.
And,
The only
and
thing
pressing.
I can't do when I'm listening to a book is read.
Yeah. that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay. Oh my God, that is so funny. Well, you know what? Later in the podcast, when we do the actual Audible commercial, I think we're going to have you do it today because you're a fan.
Oh.
And it's going to mean something coming
All
from
right.
you. Not that the rest of us don't like it.
And I'm a fan of free, so
It is good.
So that's
Yeah.
really nice
I
that
mean,
they offer
it is
that.
it is $15 a month, and you get one book.
That's awesome.
But
Yeah, but there's perks. And a whole bunch
there's
of
a
other
lot
stuff.
of books that are really long.
32 hours? Good Lord. That's like a work week, for God's sake.
Well, there's
almost.
this one author who's my favorite, Diana Galbadon. And she writes these historical fiction time traveling books,
Okay.
and they're all in the 30-hour range.
Wow.
And they're like my favorite series in the whole world, and their narrator is awesome. So, like, it'll take you a whole month to read one book, and then it's perfect.
I suppose the narrator could make or break it.
Yeah. Read the reviews.
Yeah, you should because I had as an author, I liked this person. I am very ashamed to admit this was 20 years ago. It was in the sort of the self-help, self-discovery, realization realm, and loved the books. But then I started getting this stuff on CD and or tape for whatever. Couldn't listen to her.
Yeah.
Completely killed my infatuation for this thinker.
It was the narrator.
Oh,
Yeah.
it was herself.
It was
Oh,
herself.
it was the author. Yeah.
Oh.
She should have hired somebody.
She should have.
Yeah. But when you get to
Yeah.
the level of some of these people, they aren't going to let somebody else read their stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I
Okay.
mean? Yeah. So guys,
Not in the self-help. Yeah.
they're
yeah,
they're guruing you.
Yeah.
So I was so excited. We always start off, or we try to anyway, with what's going on at Fantasy Gifts. You guys did something fun yesterday.
Yeah, we had a very belated Christmas brunch. Well, we're in retail and people have been busy and stuff going on. And we were supposed to be tearing apart the Bloomington store, but the slot wall didn't come in. And I said, okay, so, well, let's tear it apart and then we'll go, everyone's going to be hungry after, packing up an entire store. And I call it dexterizing it because we're going to wrap everything in plastic. No dust is getting anywhere. I don't watch the show, but the certain pictures I've seen, everything seems to have a lot of plastic.
That's
So
accurate.
And but it didn't happen. I said, well, and then Tim was going to go, well, maybe we should, do the Christmassy thing. I said, well, we'll combine it. So we went down to Hell's Kitchen, had a lovely brunch, and then did an under $10, gift swap where you can steal things, and it's usually silly. And it was a lot of clearance Easter stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. We gave Easter presents at our Christmas party.
Christ and Christ. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of a bookended kind of deal. I
Yeah.
like that.
For fantasy gifts.
Yeah, and we never. I mean, it's always just silly stuff. So it's perfectly.
They sat
reasonable.
a family behind us, though, which I did not understand why.
Well, I don't think I ever said
Why?
my name. I just,
No,
just
but
in my
like
name.
we get a little rowdy, and they sat a family behind us, and I was like, "There's plenty of tables in this place, people."
I mean, it's obviously if a group of 10, 11 people are coming in with big boxes of wrapped presents, it's not.
And they're ordering cocktails.
And beverages. Yeah, you wouldn't think that you would set the 3-year-old near us.
Yeah,
probably not. Good
Although they really
discernment.
wanted the emoji pillows. The kid was.
Speaking over at your gifts.
Yeah, I love. There's nothing really better than the Walgreens, as seen on TV or the cheap ass gift section,
yeah.
especially when it
Totally.
has the big orange clearance tag on it.
Totally.
Woo!
That is
Yeah.
awesome.
I love that stuff.
I rolled into work at 8:30 on Monday and was like, "Oh crap, I forgot to go shopping."
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, "Well, I got a half an hour." Went to Walgreens. Ooh, Easter's half off.
That's just hysterical. That is so. Actually, there's some real genius, unintentional, however it may be. You know, to the fact that you waited till this point in time makes perfect sense with retail and all that kind of stuff. That's fun stuff.
We're always late, but generally not this late.
It used to be before Christmas, and then last year we did it after Valentine's Day, which was nice. But then this time it went way after Valentine's
Guys are
Day.
late blooming with your holidays. Which, speaking of holidays, Colleen, you had a Facebook post the other day. You got set up your fear for trees.
Well, I've got 2 new kitties, and they're 10 months old, and it's been a long time since I've had young animals in the house. And they're zoom, jump, zoom, and I'm like, I tend to. I mean, I'm not a religious person, but I tend to like to decorate for Christmas. In fact, I have 5 Christmas trees.
Oh.
They're pink and purple and green and a couple blue ones. There's a lot. And I'm like,
Where do you fit them?
Oh, I just cram them in my tiny little house. It's a little Christmas forest. And the thing is,
decorations don't usually match up well with young kittens.
no. And I'm just like, this is. I think I'm going to put up like 1 test tree. See how it goes.
Yeah.
Until I end up with the elderly cats again or something. I'm like, this is going to be bad.
We have lost many of glass ornaments because the cat climbed the tree and the tree fell over.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. My friends, I'm like, I posted this, and they're like, "Oh yeah, you were so screwed."
Yeah.
There was no one saying it'd be fine. This is what I did. Everyone's like, no trees.
Nope.
Yeah. We actually had a house that had a grass wall. Like it was this wallpaper that was like grass.
Okay. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we had a cat that actually climbed the
Sure.
wall.
Nice.
hmm
That'd be fun.
Yeah, well, it ruined the wallpaper.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
My brother had that wallpaper. It was like very 1970s.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Very
Oh, my God.
tactile in the 70s.
Super funny. You know, I headed to New Jersey, right, last week.
Mm-hmm.
I happened to be, my client and my trip was to Red Bank, which is where Bon Jovi and Springsteen have houses.
Fun.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
So you stocked?
No, didn't
No?
have. Wish I would have had time. I didn't get to do much fun at all. It was work, bust your ass work kind of deal. But it was a very, very cool town. And for the first time, I Ubered. I have never Ubered before. And I have got to say that it was the most interesting, I think one of the most interesting parts of the trip was the people who drove us.
Yeah.
And me and, whatever. And the reasons why they're driving. I mean, one guy is like an engineer who just had a couple days off, and he's from like Eastern Europe. And he went to Penn State on a wrestling scholarship. I mean, I went in an 11-minute trip. I got a lot of I mean, and it's like, I love wrestling, blah, blah, blah. But it started to make me think that, and first of all, and it was way more fun than a regular cab.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Way, way more fun.
Very nicer, too.
Well, that's true too. But you know what it made me think of is how we talk so much here about not labeling people and not making assumptions and not trying to put them in boxes. You don't know. I mean, this guy was like, he had like an MBA from, Wharton, and it wasn't like he had to. I mean, I didn't gather that.
Who knows? Maybe he really likes to go back home every year, and those plane tickets
You
are
never know.
really expensive.
And another dude said that he has 2 daughters that just got engaged. I'm like, oh, enough said.
Yeah.
I got that.
Yeah.
But no, it was just really interesting.
My uncle had a magnet, a cartoon on his refrigerator that always said like 3 daughters, 3 college educations, and 3 weddings.
Ouch.
I saved my parents a fortune never getting married.
Yeah.
Did you ask for something in kind?
No. It's just how it works
like a
out.
Carrie Bradshaw action?
Yeah,
thinking.
it's just how it worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's, you got this money for your wedding. I didn't get married at
You have a mock wedding.
It's fine.
You marry
Just be
your
no,
party. Just do
your
your birthday.
party. Yeah, no, it's
Make
fine.
them pay for your 50th. Oh, that.
Ooh.
I just already did
Yeah.
that. No. Oh, I did get really nice earrings, but it certainly wasn't.
Those were nice. Those are nice earrings. So in studio, Myss Angie, we need to kind of remind everybody who you are. Tell us again a little bit about yourself and what you do, and we'll explain why you're here after that.
Okay, my name is Myss Angie, and that's my stage name that I use online, and it's the best way to get a hold of me that way. If I tell everybody my full name, they're like, what? What is it? Never mind. I am a pole fitness instructor at Knockout Bodies, and I also own Pole and Performing Arts, and that is a company that does events around the cities where we bring together performing arts and pole dancing and belly dancing and fire shows and aerial artists and all kinds of things. So we're trying to empower women through the performing arts is kind of the mission, and men can come too. But it's more about having women love their bodies, and through movement and community, we can get there through that.
Cool. Yeah, my best friend does Koya. Are you familiar with that?
I'm not familiar.
It's a blend of yoga and dance.
Ew.
Is it like where it's kind of like fighting yoga? Like,
No,
okay.
That sounds such an oxymoron.
no, it's full
Namaste.
on. Like,
I'm gonna kick your ass.
It's full. It's literally dance and yoga.
Oh,
How do you
I like
spell that?
Koya. It's Qoya. She teaches once a month at the Four Gates on Nicollet, next to
I want to check that out.
what is that place called?
Well, okay. Well, you're thinking. I was just. You said that there's like a whole bunch of other. So it's more like movement performance arts, because you mentioned fire has movement and the silks have movement.
Yes.
And belly dance has movement. So there's a lot of. So you've put together all of these communities and said, it's hard to have a showcase of one thing. So you're going to do everything together. Now it's this Saturday, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So this Saturday at the Muse Event Center is the Twin Cities Performing Art Convention. And within that, we have a vendor fair that Fantasy Gifts will be there.
Yeah,
So we're really excited.
That's what.
Liz truly will be there.
Yeah. And then we also have workshops, seminars, a couple of free seminars if you're interested in nutrition or contortion control or stretching, stuff like that.
Cool.
Workshops if you're interested. There's the pole international pole star from. She's actually from Wisconsin, but she lives in Atlanta now, and she's been all around the world doing her amazing things. Her name is Heidi Coker. So she's
When
coming.
is she performing?
She's going to perform at Shake Around Pole. You will see her, Liz.
But
And she
late after 6?
Amazing. Yes, it's going to be around 10, between 10 and 11, I think.
Okay.
I'm guessing. You're going to be there?
I have to catch a plane.
Yeah, she has to catch a
I
plane.
have to catch a plane at 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah, she's heading on a buying trip, but you know
We'll
what?
see how late I stay.
But-
I might stay for that.
Okay.
There are 6 folks though that can see the folks for free, because we've been generous enough to give us 3 sets of 2 tickets each, and we have a contest on the Fantasy Gifts Facebook page and the Great Northern Sex Facebook Sex. I can't even speak.
Great
Northern
Northern
Sexcast Facebook page. Oh,
There it is.
so you'll see the event listed. Make a comment afterwards. Say how why you want the tickets. Share, maybe say how great we are. Really, I'm going for it.
All the things.
Just do all the things, and we see your name, and we're gonna put all the names in a hat. We're gonna pull it out on Thursday.
Okay.
Because what we want to do is one, make sure you're available to go. 2, when we get a hold of you, pick a store, and we'll send the tickets out to a store to be picked up on Friday.
Before Saturday.
That's
Yeah,
perfect.
so something like that.
Perfect.
And it would be, easy too if you just if you want to get them picked up at the downtown location. That's not too terribly far from Muse too. So for some people that may work out.
may work
well
out.
Yeah, on
too.
the way to the show.
Yeah.
Because that's at Hennepin and
Hemp and 8th.
8.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
right down from the saloon. Now, how are tickets available online anyway? If you want to guarantee yourself some tickets, or is it walk up sales?
So both.
Okay.
There are tickets available online. You get a $5 discount if you do it online early ahead of time, because we like that. It makes producers sleep better at night.
Yes.
If you buy ahead. Otherwise, yes, you can walk up to the door and get at the door. Depending on what you want to do, if you want to stay for the whole day and you want to make an event out of it, which would be really great because it's so much fun. It's going to be amazing. It's only $20 ahead. And then if you just want to come for the Shake, Rattle, and Pull show, which starts at 10 o'clock, it's $10 all before. If you buy it at the door, it's $5 more.
Okay.
And then valet parking, super easy, $12. Give your keys to the guy and walk in, walk out. You got your car right there. You don't have to walk or try to remember where you parked in a parking ramp. I've done that before.
You know, that's not a tough part of town to park in, though, because I lived like 3 blocks from there for 2 years, and it's pretty. There's a lot of decent places too. So either way,
At
if you're
night, on weekends.
yeah,
at night and
it
on
really is.
weekends, we're expecting about 800 people to come, so there might not be parking on the
Okay.
street. And
$12 for valet is not bad.
it's really good actually, because I think the ramps are around $10 anyway.
Yeah,
So,
probably close to
so,
that. Yeah.
yeah.
And I've never been one. I don't wear heels anymore, you know. But the
Oh yeah, if you're wearing.
we were wearing heels. I was like, yeah, I'm.
Sometimes I drive by those bars and see the girls without any, like without jacket, and they're
It's
in
really the
heels, and they're
jacket.
standing in the
Yeah.
line, and it's like
Yeah.
30 below, and I'm like,
Yeah.
God, I used to do that.
Well, coat-check is annoying sometimes. I mean, not when you get old, because you're just like, I don't care. I'll pay $3 for the coat-check.
Yes,
But
there's a coat check too, but it'll be April, so it probably won't
Yeah.
be. So
Oh,
bad.
it's supposed to be, it's gonna
Yeah.
be pleasant enough.
Absolutely. So I just wanted to ask you too before we dive into the rest of the show, Myss Angie, with regard to your this method of fitness and this genre of dance. I mean, is the summer is it busier for you guys? Is this when a lot of people decide they're going to finally give it a go?
I feel like summer is the increase in bachelorette parties. So
they do like one.
yeah,
Folks come in for
Session.
lessons and
they'll
learn
come
stuff.
in and we do private bachelorette parties or just parties all together. So if you just like, I'm awesome, it's my birthday, or we're just having a girls' night, or any other occasion. Sometimes they have the core power yoga ladies. They all come in. The instructors come in and they have a party. So work party. Anything can come in. But yeah, summer's the increase in the parties usually, and it's a really really good time. And then people like to go on vacation, and we try to do some showcases and stuff to keep people interested. But I think the rise is like right now. There's a lot of people wanting to get fit for summer. Yeah.
Bikini bodies.
Yep.
You know what? I have a body, and I put a bikini on it. It's a bikini body.
It is.
That's how that works for me.
Ta-da.
That's how I
It's true.
I have never had an issue with that, because
Yay.
when I was tiny, it was fine. And now that I'm not tiny, I always figure that tan bulk looks better than white bulk.
So you actually wear a bikini?
I wear a bikini.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love that too.
Yep. Nope.
I don't think I could do that.
Land's End has really nice medium high waisted things, and then they have the type of top that actually hold my boobs up,
Like
So
halter.
yeah, halter. Yeah.
You know, the one nice thing about a two-piece though is when you have to go to the bathroom.
Oh,
So much easier.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, I do have, occasionally when I can't find a good, bikini, I'll go with the tankini, but it has to be a longer one, because what's the point? I mean, if you're trying to hide the gut, why are you wearing something that shows like 2 inches of it when you move?
Yeah,
I
right.
figure that's
worse, I think.
That pretty
Yeah.
much says,
Feelings.
hey,
Yeah.
look, here's what I'm trying to hide.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
you're not hiding
yeah.
it.
Peekaboo. There it is.
You're not, you're not
But
hiding
like a 50s in style bikini would be super cute.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no,
Oh,
I
yeah.
wear, yeah, that's what I like to wear. If I'm going to wear a suit, I'm
Halter
going with
top,
that. Mm-hmm.
high-waisted
Cute.
bottom.
Yeah, I mean, and nothing hides your thighs, so
Right.
that's not,
Yeah.
so.
I was looking at a shapewear catalog today, and I was like, why don't they ever do snap crotches?
Oh.
Because
Yeah.
that's the part that's hard, is
Yeah.
getting it all the way up.
Yep.
You would
I-
have to figure. It would be. They should do it more like a onesie, so it comes up a little bit higher. So it's more in the lower pubic area where the snaps are, so you don't really have the
Yeah.
snaps right in your crotch.
Ah.
You need to design. You need to
Yeah,
redesign
they
a
gotta
little
figure
bit.
it out. But that's every time I'm wearing my shapewear, I'm like, God, I just want a snap crotch.
We could really engineer these one day. We should get together.
I'm thinking your experience is leading to some design
Yeah.
input that could be very.
Yeah, well, I see the catalogs, and you probably do this when you're looking.
Yeah.
When everyone looks through stuff, you're just like, okay, that's probably a 17-year-old
Oh,
in about
gosh.
5 pounds of lycra that doesn't
Oh, yeah.
need 5 pounds of
God,
lycra.
there-
Exactly.
yes. I don't know why you wouldn't put before and after pictures in your shapewear catalog. I mean, come on, right?
Yeah.
I giggle. And then there was another picture the other day because get catalogs, and once again, I'm like, I'm hoping they took more than one photo here, right? Because they've got this awkward bra on this model, and there's like a gap under the boob.
Oh.
And I'm looking at this, and I'm like, this is on the cover of the magazine.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking,
the
this
ill-fitting bra.
is going to
Is
sell
that
your
side boob
product.
Yeah.
It
Well,
was
it looked like a regular bra that somebody just removed the straps, so it had like it went up into a point
yeah. I mean, you
where
know,
you
like,
would think then there would be a strap.
Oh.
It was really weird.
and we were just giggling because I'm like, am I missing something
Yeah.
here? Is it just my, you
And
know?
then it was yellow with floral print accents. Like,
Oh,
it's
that
not.
sounds. You know that shape though, you guys. I saw when I was surfing the strange places that I do to find material for what we do here. There was a wedding dress like that, and this chick had a rack on her. Oh my God! I think. Did you see that
Oh
picture?
yeah, it shows up as a clickbait every now and then. You're talking about the really large boobs with the really tiny, like just a
where
little
they,
bit,
like,
little bit of
barely
satin,
cover,
over.
And it's a
like, the
wedding dress?
points
Yeah.
are
And
just
there's-
over her nipples.
Yeah, and they're
Oh,
standing,
yeah.
and it's
She needs some fashion
It
tape.
always, always, always shows up as clickbait or the worst
Yeah.
wedding dresses ever or things that shouldn't have
Oh.
happened. And
I,
you'll-
oh,
yeah,
I get suckered into
I didn't
those.
click on that thing. I saw it.
Yeah,
and I'm
that's-
like, oh.
and
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's fascinating because you want. I mean, when you're picking out clothing for performance, you want something that stays where it
Oh,
is
yeah.
and covers the bits that are going to be covered.
Yeah,
Fashion
unless,
tape.
unless
Yeah.
part of the performance is taking it off, but
Yeah.
otherwise, yes.
But I mean, have you guys had
Now,
any
will that
wardrobe
happen?
malfunctions?
Say it again.
Have you had any significant wardrobe malfunctions?
Myself, no, but I've seen it in the past. It's usually the top
Mhm.
comes off, or it'll be like a nip slip
Yeah.
or a lip slip.
Oh,
It's just
yeah. Okay, I can see that.
Oh, yeah,
So-
when
so
you're
it's
doing
small
some of those
bottoms,
spread,
yeah.
yeah.
We'll do some
Mhm. Now, will
some
there
spready
be
moves.
striptease? Is that in the shake, rattle, and roll portion?
Shake,
of
rattle,
the
and
evening?
pull. I believe that's some of. It's not necessarily striptease. It's like
Mhm.
performance strip. So
Yeah.
if
More
they take
burlesque.
something off, it's
Mhm.
more of like there is a burlesque act, so they'll do that, and then I think a couple of the. And then, spoiler alert, I might be taking something off in mine.
But will
it's
it
more
re-
like a cheeky
down to
fun.
like pasties over nipples?
Yeah, I
or-
think the burlesque
full
group
on?
might do that.
Mhm.
Pasties. So I don't know. I haven't
Yeah.
seen their act.
Will there
We'll
be
have to-
any
we'll have to
fire?
find out. There, we do have a fire act. Yes.
I one time saw a fire act with a flaming flogger.
Oh,
Whoa.
what is a flaming flogger?
Whoa!
Mhm.
Exactly.
It is a a flogger whip. A
Oh.
flogger whip is a handle, and then it has a bunch of strands.
Oh, that. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Usually with
So then
knots on the end of the strands.
Yeah, so then the end of it was on fire,
Ooh.
and then they whipped this guy's back, and then his hair kept catching on fire, so they put him out, you know?
Oh my God.
It was-
That sounds exciting. That's not what's gonna happen.
It
Oh.
was. It was.
No, I-
Okay, it
Very
was
exciting.
so awesome. That would be a side whatever. Justice Dragon, he does his thing at the Ground Zero every couple months.
Yeah, Justice will be doing fire for us.
I would
Oh.
go see his show.
Oh, good. Okay, so that's who's going to be there.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
really good. Well, so yeah, it was probably the
Mhm.
best thing I've ever seen. I have
Really?
to say. Oh yeah.
Who
it
would
was
have ever
really
thought
hot.
that Liz would be giving critical acclaim to back hair set aflame?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just let that sink in for a minute.
It's probably way easier than getting it waxed, you know. But they had he had like a hood on, you know, so his
Mhm.
hair wouldn't catch on fire. And
Oh, good.
Very important safety component.
there was a guy standing there with a fire extinguisher. You know, there was
Oh,
safety.
so-
There was
Safety
definitely there was definitely safety
Somebody with a bucket in the
precautions.
corner.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. Good times. Well, you know, I'm getting more. I mean, it's not that I don't want to go. I'm just not sure if I can make it. But now I'm gonna have to clear the schedule. I
Clear your schedule.
Oh, guys, I had to put this in here. This is not even remotely sexual, but it's one of the neatest things I've seen out there.
You need a break for every now and then.
Well,
You
and
know,
this is
you
an
know.
otter. We have otters in our life, but in honor, which I've been entertained by recently. No, in honor of Colleen's new putties. Best cat rescue story ever.
Okay.
Best cat rescue. Okay, this was in Nebraska.
Okay.
And cat in tree, classic dilemma, panicked family, can't get her down. I mean, really, 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 really high. Cop shows up, clearly experienced in cat culture, gets his taser out.
Whoa.
People very scared. No. He just used the pointer to get the cat to follow the pointer down.
Oh my gosh.
How cool is that?
He saved the pussy.
Somebody knows the kitty cat.
know.
Oh yeah,
awesome.
there's no way. That
There's
this
a picture of him and the cat. It's so fun.
So when you Google how do I get my cat out of the tree, the #1 Google search should be get a laser pointer.
That's awesome.
Right?
Don't get the
so
can
smart.
of food at the bottom of the tree. Don't yell, "Come here." Get the laser pointer.
So smart.
I
mean,
wonder if
so
they
smart.
tried that in Seattle or Portland, where the guy was up the tree a couple days ago and pelting
There was a
people with
guy up there?
apples.
Oh my gosh.
Some guy just climbed up to top of this tree, was up there for hours. For all I know, he's still there.
Yeah.
And he was throwing. They could not get him down. Maybe they should try a laser pointer.
I've had that. The fire department no longer rescues kitties.
Oh.
Okay? You are on your own.
Oh.
Have you seen the Animal Planet now has a show, and there's 2 guys that do amazing cat rescues. And I mean, like really crazy, like, and they're up in the Pacific Northwest. So these cats are like, I mean, we're talking, you know what I'm saying here, right?
Yeah.
So there's enough of these. So there's a show.
There's a whole show.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
No
kitty
joke.
cats. Oh, kitty cats. Why?
like a problem
Have
there,
you
I
guys seen that? It went around Facebook a lot, and it was this cat stuck in a coil spring in a car.
Oh my gosh.
I think it was like in the Eastern Bloc somewhere.
Mm.
But literally, it was like this spring, this giant spring in a car, and there was like a cat inside.
Oh my gosh.
Please tell me they got him out.
I think so, but it was like on like every other feed on Facebook was like, check this out,
What
you
if
know.
they found him there?
Well, he was in the car, and so they took the, like he took they took the spring out of the car, and then they were like, okay, how do we
Now
get the
we get
cat
the
out of the?
It was alive.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
very important.
Yeah.
Yeah. Usually,
They
usually
can get
doesn't-
in. They just have a problem getting out.
back out, yeah.
Mhm.
Isn't
Yeah.
that always
They're
the
only
case?
that
Yeah.
smart.
So
Yeah.
many emergency room stories. Same thing, man. Got it in, can't get it
Get it
out.
out.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys caught this, but I literally, and I don't guffaw at the television too often, and actually it's not funny, but it's very funny. Did you guys hear about the uproar at the Pez headquarters in Connecticut?
No.
No, but this is already making me
Colleen
laugh.
Colleen
yeah,
did.
Yeah,
Go
I
ahead.
did. Yeah,
Tell
I
it
did. Well, the Pez headquarters had 3 separate fields with a whole bunch of eggs and candy and stuff like that. And,
Oh,
and each
okay.
and each one
So
of the
they
fields
were
was going to be like hosting an
egg-
Easter egg hunt.
Okay.
And each field was like, this was going to be for the littlest kids,
Uh-huh.
middle kids,
Yeah.
bigger kids. In each case, the parents leaped over barricades
Oh, my
and actually
gosh.
knocked over children.
Oh,
And they and they decimated the one field, and then they went to the other 2.
the parents.
Oh.
The parents did. The
For their
parent-
kid, they were
Sounds
trying
like a
to
South
for
Park
their
episode.
kids.
Oh, I mean,
Yeah.
this was, and then they had to cancel the whole thing, and they tried to gather up the kids, and I from what I can understand, they just like ran into the factory and started grabbing candy.
Wow.
I'm
Oh.
surmising from what they said
So
because
bizarre.
they were trying as the kids were leaving to give the kids that were like crying and didn't get to do the
Right.
Easter egg hunt something.
Oh.
And this is why sometimes we can't have nice things because
Yeah.
people are assholes.
Yeah.
I mean, we spent a large chunk of our meeting this morning, and I don't know, trying to figure out how to get people not to walk away with our vibrator testers.
Testers that like hundreds of people have touched
Oh,
I wish
that
I
they
wish
know
they-
they don't have a charger for,
Yeah.
interesting.
so
Yeah.
they can only use it like a few hours and then it's dead.
Mhm.
And somebody has touched it
Yeah, lots of people have
over
touched it.
and
And so,
over and
so
over and
we've,
over again.
We've like strapped them down. We're putting tags on them. I'm looking at cables like they put on mink coats. I mean,
So people are pocketing. the-
people are pocketing the testers.
How
I'm-
gross is that?
That's pretty gross.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
and I'm like, but like any business has their issues. I mean,
Sure.
you got to figure, but no, they're stealing. I'm like,
Okay, so the people that were running in the fields, how many adults are we talking about?
oh,
it like one or
dozens.
three?
No, it was like dozens. Well, because
Oh.
once one parent went,
They all did.
They all went.
Because
Like,
then they were
they're
like,
like,
"Oh
"Pets
my
are off."
god,
Yeah.
oh my god, they're gonna take all the candy and my kid will have none, so I
Oh.
must take candy too."
it was a total free for all.
Yeah.
It was her. I mean, you're reading the story,
Oh gosh.
and you're just thinking, who raised these animals?
Yeah.
And then I mean, and what is there? And it just and
It's
you-
herd
the message that
mentality,
they send
right?
to
Yeah.
their kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just and then you get mob mentality
Yeah.
because that's what it
Yeah.
went to.
We took my kid on an Easter egg hunt, and he kept picking up the eggs and putting it in other kids' baskets.
Oh, that's
Aw.
nice.
Isn't that sweet?
Yeah.
He didn't understand.
No.
He was like,
He's like, you can
2,
pick this up.
3.
Clean it up for me.
Aw.
He was like, oh, here.
Well, the video of the general manager, the plant general manager talking about this, you could tell he got schooled up by his PR department and made very much light of it. Didn't say what we know he probably wanted to. But Carl and I were watching that last night going, you got to be kidding me. And I just looked down and I'm like, what would Jesus do? Like, seriously, this is just absolutely ridiculous.
Was this the first time
I didn't
that
catch
they've...
From what I understand, they've done this for years.
Okay.
So
weird.
it was fascinating.
Well, you know, it kind of goes to, remember that thing in Jordan last year where every year they have this pilgrimage.
Oh, pilgrimage. Oh, shit.
And
People
like,
die every
but
year.
no, every year they have like millions of people going through the city and nothing happens. But last year, so a sign was weird and people took a wrong turn and hundreds died.
Oh.
Yeah, 2 groups of pilgrims hit each other and people got trampled.
But
trampled.
it happens every year,
Yeah.
and usually there's no problems. But something weird happened, and somebody went the wrong way, and everyone else was like, "All right,
Oh, and they followed.
yeah,
Lemmings.
Yeah.
It's bad.
it's bad."
I just was saying, just on a final note on the Pez story, I got to thinking about that and thinking, what could a fantasy gifts Easter egg hunt be like? Now think about this, guys. Think about a warm-up event like at Loring Park with like Key Pride, other vendor. You know what I mean? A rainbow Easter egg. I mean, you guys, this could be really fun. I mean, I think we could start something.
Yeah, we've always, because you've got plenty of egg vibrators and plenty of rabbit vibrators.
Little tiny bullets that don't have battery packs. The battery's inside, and you just turn them all on.
And they're all multicolors. You can see them
throw
bounce.
them, like hundreds of them. Because they're cheap too.
The eggs.
Yeah,
Toss
and
them.
maybe after almost 37 years in business, we could probably associate something with fantasy gifts and a religious holiday, because we tend to not do that. I mean, I've never done a lot. Occasional comment like, if you want to do it like rabbits before Easter, you got to shop Friday and Saturday because we're closed on Sunday. Little things like that. One year for Christmas, I said nothing. It says Christmas like a big red glitter dick. But for the most, for the most part, you just tend to step away from that a little bit. But after
except for really, But if you think about it, Easter is not a Christian holiday. It's a Hindu holiday, and it celebrates Ishtar, Easter, who is the goddess of sex and fertility. So, of all the holidays, Easter is ours.
Yeah. Esther is, and Esther is also a Germanic goddess, another version of that, which is where we get the word Easter, which was hilarious because my guy, his mom handed him a year of 1974 highlights. Okay, we're flipping through these, and in the April version of 1974 highlights was a 4-page spread on the beginnings and origins of Easter and the goddess Oestra. If you think that you could possibly print that today, people will go insane.
Yeah. Well, in our house, we celebrate fertility and eggs and the bunny, and we don't celebrate the Christian aspect of Easter at all.
Yeah. I mean, it's all over the board.
Spring and rebirth.
The ways to do it.
Yeah, and okay, real quick, we're still in the middle of the news, but Colleen and Liz, let's do a little audible nod here. We got to do the commercial because it's pretty neat.
Here we go. Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. I always love putting on my radio voice. Yeah. But no, the listeners of the Great Northern Cast can get a free audiobook downloaded with a free 30-day trial, and that is at www.audibletrial.com/social. And we'll put this up on the website again. We always do that on the GNSS cast. So that we can, cause I know I remember that. So we went in there. But there's a zillion titles. Liz is a big fan. You can, get started now, and you can have hours and hours of listening if you're, especially if you're at work. Except obviously he doesn't work in reading, right? You can listen.
Can't read.
Can't read. Let's see. We've got free audiobook. We got 180,000 titles. You can listen from your iPhone, your Kindle. Just stream it through your office computer, because that's what you do, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's going that way.
Well, and I have an app.
app on there. So there's just a lot of different ways, a lot of different titles. It's definitely a really good deal. And we'll put the link up, which is audibletrial.com /social. I cannot. I've had coffee. I swear I have had coffee today.
I think that's your problem.
Yeah, too much.
I think your head's going faster than your lips.
She actually had store-bought fancy coffee this morning.
Really?
Usually it's just office coffee, but today she had real coffee from a real place.
I had to bring the new kitty to the vet. I think she's binge eating, but the poor little kitty is thinking about her ways. But she was a stray, and now there's food, and so we got to figure this out. And so I decided I would stop and treat myself after, because a lot of, so I got myself a morning bun. I just love the idea of the morning bun. I'm like, there's so many different connotations.
Kowalski's morning bun?
No, Patisserie Margot.
Oh, so Kowalski's morning bun is really good. It's like a croissant and a bun rolled up into one.
It's really lovely. It's tasty. And I got
I've
some
heard of
coffee.
a morning bun. Have you, Angie?
Nope.
Okay. We're 2 and 2.
But it's nice. And I just had the most... so I think their coffee might have been a little bit stronger than sometimes the coffee that my mother makes.
Yes.
Probably.
Yeah.
Guys, do you ever see, you kind of hearkened to this earlier, Colleen, when we were talking about that ghastly wedding dress. It's a clickbait thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know how you see those things with this one simple trick, they promise to get rid of belly fat, improve, 8 inches more on your dick, whatever. Well, I saw this one, and it was like this one simple trick. A British comedian claims to have gained an inch on his penis. So when you read the story, it talks about he'd always had a weight problem. He goes into severe obesity over depression. And then couldn't find it because it was hidden under things.
Fat. Yeah, the fat actually grows down around it.
She knows I swear to God, you can go anything anatomical, and she's a freaking encyclopedia. Cracks me up.
See those audiobooks.
I did not know you were coming today, but I'm glad you're here. Mm-hmm. No, so yeah, and so then he said, okay, fine, I'd fish around for it, but even when I did find it, it was smaller.
Yeah. And
then he lost the weight, and he's gotten his inches back and whatever. Yeah.
One of the penis enlargement surgeries you can get is they actually they surgically remove like the pubis mound on a man, like the portion above the penis, and they liposuction, and there's like extra penis there, so they remove the skin and
so the shaft, so the part that's in is more out.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, people will do a lot. I mean, people, women are rearranging a labia. Ladies, your labia is fine.
Yes. It annoys me. Mm-hmm. Like it gets into that whole circumcision thing. Mm-hmm. I'm like, no, all vaginas, all penises, they're all fine just the way they are. Don't need to touch them.
Okay.
Well,
but
maybe we should touch them. I don't know.
Yes.
Not with scalpels. Yes, with loving hands and mouths and
Mm-hmm.
So Trump pops up in every. There's always some story that has, a sexual connotation to protest him usually. Mm-hmm. And this week, it's a blogger. It's kind of funny, but basically, and I've got links. Miss Megan has all of this stuff. We've got links to this whole blog about hell yes, it's a perfectly acceptable thing to dump somebody for supporting Trump, and her writing's pretty snarky or whatever. And she's been actually published in the New Yorker and whatever, so she's not just some random internet person. But she goes at it about the misogynist way, and it's kind of an interesting piece. And it's just the blogosphere is on fuego because of all of this, and that's the latest thing that popped up when I was trying to get my work done. So I thought I'd mention it.
Yeah, there's a lot of things coming up, and in fact, I've done an enormous amount of blocking and removing sites because I'm just not that. I mean, not that interested. Like anyone's going to change their mind at this point. That's what I've always thought about our lovely election cycle. It's like, you might change. Something could pop up, like Senator Edwards, screwing around his wife while he's doing with cancer, and that changed. But he was already down the delicate count and wasn't and that's why you have certain things.
But don't you think there are people out there that are uninformed, and if they became informed, that they might actually change their mind if they actually realized what he actually wanted to do?
But no, I don't think it has anything to do with. It has nothing to do with any knowledge. It has everything to do.
Well, he likes
with,
the unintelligent.
Yes, you even said that. It has. Most folks, you make a decision, and it's a personal affront to you if you change your mind. No one believes. Or it doesn't seem. It seems to be ingrained in some sort of our Western psyche that changing your mind is weak. But really, if you've learned new information about something, you should be able to evaluate it.
Yeah.
Which is why you like that's what science does.
Yeah. Well, and
that's what research does.
I would also hope that part of voting is that you research who you're voting for. But there's in the state of Minnesota, they say if you have a Norwegian name, you'll get elected.
Doesn't
surprise me. Yeah, I mean, people go with what they know,
sure.
and they don't want to change their minds.
Did you guys hear about the Idaho science teacher who had the ethics complaints filed against him for a sex ed class in 2013? Do you remember this story?
No.
It was kind of a big deal, and I think my headphones are cutting out. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I can hear you, but not
through
the headphones, not through the mic.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay. Well, something is freaky there then. All right. How about now? No.
Nope.
I'm wondering if I'm on the recording. Okay, this will be interesting if I'm not, because okay.
Talk really loud and maybe we'll pick you up on
just
that.
us answering questions.
You can fill in the blanks. No.
Well, no. So this guy had this ethics complaint filed against him, and it was a really, really devastating deal. And I guess they did drop the school commission out there dropped the complaints, which is very unusual. A tiny, minuscule percentage of complaints that get filed ever get completely dismissed. Nonetheless, 3 years later, he said his entire life has fallen apart. He is still teaching. The flashpoints for this being filed against him, he used the word vagina.
Are you kidding?
Yeah.
So in class.
Yeah. Okay. Use an actual body part name. Great.
And discuss the biology behind an orgasm. And I mean, he did have supporters.
Because heaven forbid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
in other words, use scientific terms and told the truth.
Yeah.
And got in trouble because that. Yeah,
because heaven forbid if teenagers would have sex. Because it never happens.
No,
They'll never try to figure it out on their own if you don't tell them.
No,
yeah,
right. They completely.
Because you know what? If you have anal sex, you're still a virgin.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Because that's the kind of stuff they teach themselves. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. 700 likes on the Save the Science Teacher site, which is pretty big for the fact that this high school is in a town of 330. He's 60 years old. He retires in 5 years. He says he can't wait to get out of there. He completely stopped.
He can't leave earlier.
No, he can't.
Because he messes with his pension,
Well, there's a teacher right now in Brooklyn that is retiring because he has spent years, wearing T-shirts that says AIDS can be solved, but with education. And he tells, if a student asks him a question, he answers it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, truthfully.
That's it. That's, and a lot of stuff. And he's being pushed out. He cannot handle, the rigidity of how they're being taught to teach the test and saying that this stuff is outside of the realm of what's going on. No, it's not. If a kid asks you a question, you answer it, and you answer it truthfully. And if you're not quite sure where they're going, you might need to ask them another question. Do you need to know this about it or this?
But you know what? When it comes to sex ed, you need to start early, and you need to talk about it often.
Yeah.
I mean, my kid knows what a penis is. He knows what a vagina is. He knows how babies happen. He knows all sorts of things, and he's 5.
That's okay.
Yeah.
But
no, I've always used the right terms and this and that, and there was just stuff going on with bodies. And it's a joy right now because I have the teenager and the menopausal woman. So we're getting all of the gloriousness in the house.
Powder keg much?
It's a lot of fun.
And there's nothing else to counterbalance any of that. It's just that.
Yeah.
Oh,
and it's fascinating because that. Yeah, and 2 cats. Yeah. Well, at least there's a boy cat in the house now, so there's that. But I think that's why you do what you do, Angie, because it's about being comfortable with the skin that you're in.
Yes.
You're going through there.
And loving who you are and the shape and your body and the size.
And finding out what you can do. It's like, have you seen that plus size yoga instructor? Mm-mm. She's on Facebook. Amazing.
Maybe, but they do have this plus size pole dancer that's pretty dang popular.
I've seen one that
she's the Pink Lemon Studio, which is in Missouri. One of their students, and she blew up on the internet because she posted pictures of her pole dancing. And some people were saying, "Oh, she's fat and she's gross," and other people were like, "Well, F you, she's amazing.
She's pole dancing. If they've tried pole dancing, they know how much harder that is if you're plus size."
Exactly.
I can't even imagine. I'm pretty strong, but I don't think I could do pole dancing. That it seems really.
Well, if you say that, then you won't.
Yeah.
If you have that mindset, then you're right. But if you give it a try and then you work at it, it just becomes something. And this is the cool thing about pole dancing is that you go in at your level and you do what you can do, and then every time you go back, you could just do a little more.
Yeah,
and it's always amazing. It's always fun, and it always gets you stronger than you think. You're working out more than you think you are.
Oh, because
I used to lift weights, so I was a fitness instructor for about 10 years before I started pole dancing. So I'm like, I'm pretty strong. I'm a fitness instructor. I lift weights. I do the thing. But then I did pole dancing. I'm like, whoa,
completely different.
I'm not going back to that ever. I'm doing this.
I'm looking into it too because I have 2 friends that both just dealt with breast cancer, and it's like when they're going to have to get back to shape and stuff like that, and I know that we went through there, and so when they're all healed, I'm curious about it myself because it's been a long time since I did any weightlifting. I used to be pretty damn good at it. And a whole bunch of different things, and a lot smaller, and then broken ankles, and then toddlers that wanted to walk, not be in the stroller. It's amazing. If you can walk for like 2 hours a day with your kid in a stroller, you get really tiny and fit and all this sort of stuff. And then your kid wants to walk, and it's like, oh look, it's a tree or there's a plant. There's another blade of grass. You don't get anywhere. You're out forever, and there is no moving. There is no aerobics. There is diddly, and you're just like,
oh my God. Over.
Oh my God! What's it? No, don't. That's dog. Yes, we can go see if the little elf is home. Oh my God! I mean,
are we ever gonna get around this lake?
Oh my God!
It's only 3 miles. It should not take us 2.5 hours.
Oh God!
So next week starts the 4-week intro to pole on Thursdays if you wanted to give it a shot. And there's all ages that come and all sizes.
What time?
It's at 7:30 p.m. at Knockout Body Studio. Okay. It's in St. Anthony Village. It's right between Northeast and Rosedale.
Yep.
Send us the link and the information on that so that we can link it up.
Okay,
Let's go through that way.
That's the one that I teach. There's also one on Monday too that Misty teaches. I'm not sure when that one starts, but depending on your time and when you're available, we have classes for that.
Do
we
you
have
have
beginners.
Prices on that?
I think, and you might have to double check, but I'm pretty sure that the 4-week session is $65. So
that is not bad.
Yeah, so it's a good deal. Yeah, so you get a discount on the classes, get to see what it's like, and then you
what
get
do you
to bond.
need? What kind of clothing do you have to
wear?
wear?
Like capris and a tank.
Okay.
And
shoes.
Then,
barefoot.
No, we usually do a barefoot.
Okay.
Yep. And then by the end, like the 4th week, we'll have some shorts, and if you want to bring shoes, you can. We like to get you acclimated with the space and the pole and movement with it first before we add shoes.
And there is no weight restriction on these poles?
There is, but we have, I think it's like 750 pounds or something ridiculous. I mean, we'll do double and triple tricks on it, and we're doing crazy things. And if you're a beginner and you're coming, you're not going to do anything like the stuff that we do.
Yeah. Like multiple people on one pole, you mean?
Yeah. Sometimes we'll do things like that. And
what do you use that for the performance? Do you use platinum stages?
So depending on what we're doing, so if we have like the stuff we do shake around pole in the past that we've done, last one we did at Poorhouse, we had 2 X pole stages, and then I made this custom stage in the center, so you don't have to step down off of the stage and back on. If that makes sense. It's like a portable stage, so it has a rise, like I think 4 inches off the ground. So to step up and down when you're trying to do a performance is kind of difficult.
You could twist an ankle too,
right? Totally twist things. Yep. Yeah. So I built the thing in the center, and I connect the 2. But the ones that we'll have at this weekend at the Performing Art Convention, I have 13.5-foot loop-it poles, and they're competition grade, and they're rigged up on a truss system.
Oh, okay.
So, screwed into the floor and affixed to the top truss system, and
sweet.
It's pretty amazing.
And then
there's silks.
And then we'll have aerial silks. We rig those from the ceiling because they have lots of points. Really,
will there be any of the aerial? I know I've seen the one lady at Ground Zero with the star. It's like a cage.
That's the Merkaba. She actually, so that's Nora, and she's actually
She's
gonna
amazing.
be at Poorhouse that night or something. So
Oh, okay.
she wasn't
She is
gonna be able
amazing.
to come to us. Yeah, she's
She is
fantastic.
really, really,
does
really,
pull
really,
also.
really amazing.
Yeah,
Oh, cool.
she just pull at the Rabbit Hole if anybody's interested in that.
Oh, at the Rabbit
gosh,
Hole,
I think
that
it's
would be
Thursdays,
fun.
I think, or Fridays. Shoot, I don't know their schedule. Sorry,
We'll
just
look
kidding.
it up.
Whatever.
We can post links
Yeah.
to everything. So if you
Yep.
want to send it to us. So I know we talked about this last time we had you in here, Myss Angie, but portable poles. Can those be set up outside, like in your backyard?
Yes.
Okay. See, I live
Like
on
a platinum stage.
Yeah, platinum stages are really neat in the way that they are low profile and
Yeah.
they don't have the same feet that, say, the X pole stage does.
They're like pieces of a pie
Mhm.
put
that
them
you
together.
stick together until you get a circle, and then the pole what screws in the center.
Right.
Yeah.
What I do like about the X pole stages, they're a little more heavy duty. So
Okay.
if you're going to be doing pretty extensive tricks or double tricks, things like that, it's a little more sturdier.
Which
And
do
then
you
we
know what the
anchor it-
price range is on? Because I know platinum stages are like around 700, 1,000.
Yeah, they're anywhere from like $700 to $1,000, something like
for
that.
all of it.
Yeah, because the
Okay.
shipping is like $200 on its
Yeah.
own just because of the freight. You know?
Yeah.
It's a big piece.
Okay.
But I feel like it's worth it depending on what you're doing with it.
Yeah.
And then some people are selling theirs on Craigslist. You can find and stuff as long as you get like into the name brands and you look at all the pieces and all the pieces are there, like all the screws are
Yeah.
still there.
Yeah.
You should be pretty safe.
Right. Get a parts list and then
There you
make
go.
sure you have it all. That makes sense.
Yes.
That's so funny. So, guys, and again, the giveaway. Just want to remind everybody that if you go on the Great Northern Sex Cast Facebook page or the Fantasy Gifts Facebook page, you can go ahead and leave a comment, and your name will be put into a hat to win tickets to this. Sounds like an extravaganza. What's the time span like? What time does it start, and what time does it go till again at Muse this weekend?
So we have workshops starting around 1:00 in the afternoon, and then the doors for the vendor fair open at 3, and then we have the fashion show starts around 8:00, and then we have Shake, Rattle, and Pull starting around 9:30, and then Tony Fly will be there from Vibe 105. I don't know if you guys remember him when you were younger. I remember when I was younger, and he used to have all that hair.
No more hair.
And now he doesn't have any hair, so it's funny. Anyway, and then we have like a dance party twerk off thing right after the Shake, Rattle, and Pull, and then we're open. We close doors at 1 a.m.
Okay.
So it's a long event. But
Is
if you
the vendor
plan,
fair going on the whole time?
so it's going on as long as the vendors want to be there. So
Till
if-
till 10, like that's you get to choose, right?
yeah, so then you can
They
choose.
have to be there till 10, and then it's whenever they want.
Yeah, and then so Liz, you can choose.
Just trying to figure
can
out my
choose
day
whether
on
if people are
Saturday.
doing a lot
Well-
because I feel like they'll be drinking and having a
Yeah.
good time, and we're going to do lots of announcements from the stage, and we'll do there's also a giveaway that Fantasy Gifts is giving away at the event, so
Yeah, I
you
think
want
we're
to make
doing
sure you're
gift
going to be there.
cards.
Good. It's you have to be present to win, and then
I
they're
don't
going to have to
remember
go
what
to your table to get
Okay.
it so that you can.
I can't just give them to you. Okay.
Well, you could if you really want. We could do it that way.
No, yeah.
We can work it out, but
Yeah.
we would really like people to visit you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always
Well,
do
they
the-
will.
Yeah.
They will.
They will. Oh yes,
They will. I would
will
like
definitely.
to say we only got 3 of them, but we have these straws, and they're silver straws, and they have little pole dancers.
Oh my
on
gosh.
the straw.
I want one.
Yeah, they see
So
they're
I
not.
don't, they're
the same-
sample. I got to say, but they're not. We will have them available at all stores next month, like May or something.
because they're
but-
not even
but-
manufactured yet. These
yeah,
were
but
these
for
were
the event, I have 3.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm going to sell them for. I think
got
they're
really
$4 a piece. They're pretty. They're
I'm
they're not a
totally-
one-time
I'm
use
visiting
straw.
your table for sure.
You'll have to come early. 'Cause
But
they
we
have
got
to go
these in, and
fast.
there was generally we don't squeal a lot, but we
No.
actually we're going, oh, this is so cute, and we're just like, oh my god. I usually would do that when we get the little tiny in because really the little tiny butt plugs are adorable.
Oh.
They really are. And we get little tiny stuff in. I'm like, oh look at this. Oh. We got
Or
we
the
got,
sparkly stuff. We got these.
oh.
Oh God.
Sparkles and glitter.
we got
Like it's
so
like a 3D holographic sparkle machine on the end of these vibrators. It's
Yeah.
just like
the Rabbit Company. We got the jeweled
handle.
jewel handle at the bottom. They're so sparkly and so pretty. We're like I said, we're still working on a way to keep these things from walking out of the store. So that but we got these large rabbit displays and these shells and everything's really pretty. We're really excited and it's so sparkly.
See again the Easter theme. I mean, it is
I'm
amazing.
saying.
It's like Easter all year.
Matches.
Loring Park, guys. I'm
We were
telling
just
you, we
getting
could own it. We
That's
could
a good
own this.
idea.
Will you guys text me some pictures of that stuff? I'm just dying to see
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, yeah,
I
well,
really
I'm
wanna see it.
sure our Facebook feed will be, once they're out, will be
Yeah.
littered with it.
Okay. Okay. So 2 more things, and then we've got stuff, man. This is a great show, busy show. Really quick. Match.com releases survey. Now I don't know who in the room agrees with this, but supposedly the former magic date number for when it was acceptable to go ahead and have sex without so-called damaging the chances for a meaningful relationship used to be 3. It's now moved to 5. 5.
Is it because you have to have all those stupid coffee dates first? You know, it's like. I mean, when I started,
yeah, because now see, there's like
Those are
starter
stupid.
dates now. There's
Yeah.
like I've never done this shit.
When I started dating my husband, we had been hanging out at the same bar for like 5 months, and I knew him. You know,
Yeah.
he wasn't some stranger.
Yeah.
So the 2-date rule, 3-date rule seemed, legit.
I just think like going
But
for
I can
coffee,
imagine like a total stranger who I do not know. I don't know any of his friends. I don't know anything
Right.
about him. I would think maybe, then you've got all the coffee dates, and those aren't really dates. Those
No.
are just like, I want to make sure you're not scary.
Yeah, I just think
Yeah.
that it just getting coffee is so lame because you're just putting on a show and you're
Yeah.
just like not having.
Well,
fun
you just want to
doing
make sure
anything you
this
really
person
want.
doesn't look
But I'm
scary.
But I'm saying maybe you should go do something fun, like
Oh, yeah.
that you enjoy, like walking through the park
There used to
with
be a
your
good
dog,
MTV show.
or I don't know what would
Yeah,
it be like
I mean,
Blind
maybe
Date?
museums.
Was it Blind Date? I loved
Oh.
that show.
Well, we're a match
No.
couple.
Oh yeah, I think
Yeah,
I remember that.
well,
And
yeah.
they would have them go do fun stuff, like
yeah.
go
And then
make
dinner.
T-shirts at the
yeah.
Yeah.
whatever, or or
Do a pole
ceramics, or
dancing
do a pole
class.
dancing
Dancing
class.
class,
I
yeah.
did see one. You go do pole dancing. Yeah, that's
That would be
awesome.
kind of fun. No, I'm a
Yeah.
match couple, and we're in year 7 now.
Now, how
And
many
Start with
dates
coffee.
did you wait?
we waited, honest to God, you guys, like 5 weeks. Because we didn't
10 dates?
probably 7 to 10 dates,
Okay.
I'm guessing, and one of my Jewish mother friends told me I had to date him for 40 hours before I could fuck him.
40 hours.
I think I made
Like
it to
40 hours
40
of dating.
dating time, right?
Okay.
I think I made it to 33. But our first date, we did a happy hour, which is kind of a violation because alcohol was involved. But the second date, we went and we used anti-gravity shoes and bounced
Fun.
around the lake.
See,
Oh,
that's more fun.
And that was a
fun.
riot.
Because
So
that
we had
like
to-
says who you are
Oh,
as
yeah.
a person. Coffee doesn't say anything.
well, and the thing that he said to
Well,
me,
it says that I find
Well.
you attractive and I would
Yeah.
like to see you again.
Yeah.
Right?
well, what
That's
was,
all coffee date is. Okay, you're not scary.
You just look
We'll
okay.
see.
Mhm.
We'll see each
Yeah.
other again.
I
Yeah.
suppose.
Mhm.
Right?
So we bounced around, and that's a pretty good workout if you've ever tried that. Went around Lake Calhoun and whatnot, and I remember going back to the cars, and I lent him a demo pair of shoes. Got back in the car, and he said, "Well, do you need to go change?" I said, "Well, I'm actually just going to change in my car, and I'll meet you over here." And he's like, he thought I was going to go home and do all this kind of
Right.
stuff. I'm like, no, you saw me sweat, okay? So like, whatever. And I didn't think anything of it at the time. He said, "Okay, well, I'll drive out over there," to be like polite as to not. He even offered to wash the socks that I lent him. I'm like, it's okay, very gentlemanly. But he said he thought that was the coolest thing, that I didn't have to go home and completely refluff.
He was like,
Aw.
finally, some lady I don't have to wait 3 hours while she gets her face on.
That was kind of cool. But yeah, but let me just give you these other 2 stats that I thought
Okay.
were interesting, and then we have one story we got to end on here. Apparently, the couples responding to this said that if they wait till at least date 5, they were 35% more likely to report happiness and satisfaction with that partner in the relationship. But the other line that I thought was interesting was when people were asked about one-night stands. For men and women, of course, it's different, but each one-night stand decreased a woman's happiness by 14% and a man's by 6%.
God, that is so sad.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are we so hung up? Why can we not separate sex and relationships?
Maybe because before they had sex, they had a different idea of what was happening.
Mhm.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
That's what I feel like is the men
Mhm.
have a different idea than
Yeah.
the women do before they have the
Having
sex.
sex.
So
But
then
you know,
later the
sex is-
expectation
sex can be just
It can be.
pleasurable.
Mm.
Just that.
can be.
It just is. It's like
Just have to have-
masturbation with another person. It doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't have.
It doesn't say anything about who you are
Yeah,
as a person, about, I mean, it just is a good time. I
Yeah.
mean, and sometimes you might do things that you wouldn't actually do with somebody you're dating
Yeah.
because
It's probably
you
the
don't know this
conversation.
person.
The conversation that does or doesn't happen before the sex is the problem. Because the guys will lead the women on
Yes.
and then be like, "Oh yeah, I'll call you,"
Mhm.
and then there's no call,
Yeah.
and so then the one night stand was
Yeah. Well, don't have a one night stand if you're not prepared. I mean, you don't even, you don't have, I mean, just, you have to go into it understanding that you are having a one night stand.
See, I think you just walked right into it, Liz. I think the problem is that not everybody sees them as a one night stand going in.
Well, if you're having sex when you first meet somebody, then you are having a one night stand.
But in other words, the probability is much higher that it is a one night stand.
But couldn't okay? So are you saying then it's not possible to have a one night stand with somebody who you know? You have sex one time and then you never do anything else?
You can do that.
Okay, so
see, I mean, that's called friends with benefits.
Yeah, but I still think that the people that aren't happy after these went into it thinking something more was going to come out.
If you want a relationship and that's what you're looking for, then you should have 5 dates before you.
Right.
If you want to have sex, right?
Right.
Then you go and find somebody you are physically attracted to and have sex. Those are not the same thing. I don't consider dating and having sex to be the same thing.
I know someone who's flying cross country this weekend to have to tap something, and
it's probably going to be mind blowing because that is some serious like.
Well, they've been sending nude pictures.
Yeah,
I got to see one. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah.
Can you imagine like the pent up like just. Energy
That's going to be very damp people when they meet.
They're not going to leave the house. No. I mean, that sounds fun.
So are we good?
No, yeah.
Can't tell to protect the guilty.
I have I have
a coast from here to a coast.
Oh, I have gone on a weekend knowing that exactly where it was going to end.
Yeah,
and there was going to be no future.
No. Totally
eons ago, but yeah,
totally fine. Yeah,
I know exactly where this is going.
Well, and the female portion of the equation, this is absolutely, it fits the parameters of exactly what she wants right now. No entanglements, no whatever. Yeah. He can't show up at her doorstep without monumental effort, so it's all good.
Yeah.
Myss Angie, thank you. So hit the event one more time because we got to go.
So it is the Twin Cities Performing Art Convention at Muse Event Center in Minneapolis. It starts at 3 p.m. and lasts until 1 a.m., so no excuses that you cannot make it.
Saturday.
You should be able to come. Yes. So
and the Muse is on
Saturday, April 2nd. Muse is on 3rd and 1st in North Loop, Minneapolis.
What's
you can find
next
it
to
online.
It's close to Ribnick First.
Yeah, right across the street from Ribnick First, around the corner there. Deja Vu is 2 blocks away.
Okay. On the same street.
Moose and Sadie's is right there. Lap and Lighting is on the corner.
Yeah, Flirt is another.
Yep. Flirt is around there.
And Monte Carlo.
Oh, the Monte. That's a good one.
Oh, my God. I mean, that was a place where I drank way too many gimlets years ago. How in the world could I forget the Monte? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I love that place because they serve you your liquor separate from your mix.
Oh. So you can find the information online at poleandperformingart.com if you would like to do some pole dancing, which I know you do.
I do.
Where I teach is knockoutbodies.com. There are other places in the city if you wanted to ask questions. Come on out Saturday and we'll talk about it.
Sounds great.
I'll be there.
Yep, and there's other studios there, and they're giving away classes and free gifts and things like that. So not only is Fantasy Gifts there, but many businesses. There's over 30 vendors.
We're giving away gift cards, so free toys.
Lots of studios and businesses in the area are coming, and so should you. Are you coming?
I'm going to try.
Okay.
Yep, I'm going to see. And so once again, Great Northern Sex Cast on Facebook. You can find out everything there. Thanks, everybody.
Yay!